Welcome to Designing with Purpose. This is a conversation about architecture, but more importantly, it's about the people and organizations that buildings are meant to serve. I'm your host, Kyle Stuart, and today I'm back with Jeremy Bartlett, firm principal at Thrive Architects, and director of interior design, Beth Bokelman. And we are wrapping up our 4-part series on the integration of interior design and architecture, which Thrive has recently created through their interior design division called Curate. So welcome you guys back to the podcast today. How are you?
Good. Happy
Awesome.
Friday.
Yeah.
Good. Happy Friday. You're
Happy Good
looking
Friday.
well. Well, we've covered a variety of things. Like I said, this is our last installment of a 4-part series on interior design. We've talked about what makes spaces meaningful. We talked about why it's important to talk about interior design from the beginning of the conversation when you're planning a building or a project. And we've talked about the purpose of those spaces and how they function day to day and the importance of incorporating good design for the function of the space. And today, we wanted to get into the risks that integrating interior design with architecture helps alleviate. I'll turn it over to you guys and just kind of get into maybe some examples too of what are the main primary risks that you can help people avoid by integrating these two services.
I'd say first and foremost, obvious, very obvious, is one team, one office, one roof. Uh, means one meeting, means efficiency, means coordination that goes much better. So that's a big thing, big win. Number two, you got a number two?
Well, I think it's just the brainstorming of all of us together here and catching conversations and meeting with the client is so important. It helps with the fatigue of the selections process and the design of the building.
Yeah, well, and we've mentioned in a previous episode too, just the cohesiveness of your team, which is huge, not just being in one place, but having a team that works well together, like you guys, reduces a lot of friction. Okay, so yeah, you mentioned time, mentioned being under one roof, working with the same team. What else?
When we're coming up with a overall design vision, uh, it's important that everyone on the design team uh, has the same vision in mind and is aligned. And so I think we've talked about this through the episodes now that if we have a vision for the exterior, we'd like that vision to carry through to the interior,
Right.
and having everything orchestrated under one
Mhm.
direction is really really an important aspect and a high value reason why building curate for us is a big deal. So for me it's like the next progression in the firm's development.
What I love about being with the architect because not every interior designer has an architect so closely, just the next office down the hallway to oversee what they're doing and just to chime in on layouts and floor plans. And it's nice to already have that input, especially as the client. I would want that because I would want my designer to see, like, is this gonna work? This furniture layout gonna work with what they're building or suggesting? And for me to have that already oversight on the project, I think is a really nice element.
The code aspects
Hmm.
are the architectural knowledge of the code
Mm-hmm.
is it's very relevant for us, very important for us. So when interior design, they constantly have code challenges that they're faced with, but maybe not even knowing they're walking themselves into a code problem,
Right.
Sure.
and we tend to steer
Yep.
that part of it. And
Yep.
yeah, if I was an owner, I would want
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
want all of that in one spot at one time.
Right. Know about it now and not months from now where you have to change the plans again.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, it eliminates those late changes in the game.
Mhm.
which nobody really wants. Beth, that's an interesting angle that you mentioned with having significant experience in interior design, but not necessarily with an architect. Had you worked previously with an architect or no?
I was with a company where we were all one design, interior design, architecture, and uh, construction under one roof. But up until then, no, it's always been a separate office, a separate company.
Yeah, so that says a lot. I think if the designer herself is saying that it helps even you to
Mhm.
integrate it from the beginning and have that person right next to you working
I could
alongside you.
I can tell you architecturally where it helps us is
Hmm.
we can't manage the library and the finishes and keeping up with the reps and all the product lines and all the materials and everything that's out there and available because we have so many other roles. Architects have to play all these little roles of the project. You know, the liaison between the owner and the construction side and the codes and the government agencies so we're already overwhelmed to some degree day to day in our tasks and interior design is a very much a specialized thing, and Beth gets to stay now on target with that. You know, she's daily meeting with a rep and
Mhm.
coming in and having products updated and going through what their current offerings are. And
Mhm.
that in itself, to me, architecturally, I really appreciate having the interior design in house. Now we still can tap into that at any moment
Mhm.
because an owner maybe just says, "Hey, I just want to pick out some carpet," or "Hey, I just want to change the tile on this project." You know, it's not a big project. It's maybe just doing a bathroom or something. Well,
Mhm.
great. Now I have a very quick resource that I can just go to Beth and say, "Hey, they just want to do this. What would you suggest?" You know,
Mhm.
and honestly, that's basically free to our clients at this point.
Hmm.
You know, so there's that's a those are two really good examples, I
Mhm.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. Can you get into some specific examples with actual projects you've worked on and talk a little bit about how the integration of the two, or maybe the non-integration of the two, either helped the customer or
Mm.
cost them?
Um, well, I don't know why, but it's always easier to focus on when it goes bad than when it goes good. Um,
Yeah, I think most of us
but
do that.
yeah, it's like human nature, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I've had projects where we've had no conversation with the interior designer and the project goes through the entire process. The owner's meeting with the interior designer, they're directing the project. And then when it gets time to build, there's all kinds of problems. Like details aren't coordinated around fireplaces or around a bar element or feature element inside the space. And our plans don't match what they came up with, and now a bunch of revisions have to be made, and it costs the owner money, and it obviously costs time and the construction. Like contractors are upset because this stuff wasn't coordinated, and so yeah, the bad stories are easy to remember and not why
Mhm.
this is why we're joining forces is to avoid that kind of stuff. I don't know if you have any things that come to mind, maybe positive things. I don't
Right?
know. No.
It is really nice as an interior designer to look at a plan that has been thoughtfully designed. That is pure joy for me because I can go in and that makes my job a lot easier because all the details are already there for me. And knowing that I'm working with Thrive Architects and their design capabilities is really exciting.
A lot of things now
Yeah.
happen the world is 3D, right?
Mhm.
Like, so a lot of things are getting put together in that way. I can tell you that when we worked prior to teaming up, we worked with independent interior design companies. A lot of times they're leaning back on us to kind of help vet out what that 3D interior image looks like because they're not always able to produce that on their
Hmm.
own. And um, we're already creating the 3D models for our buildings, so integrating the interiors is actually relatively easy. Same with actually putting together the construction documents and putting together the plans and the schedules. We have an entire team. We have 10 people. That's all they do is draft every day here,
Hmm.
like so it's a very little effort for us to put together the
Mhm.
construction document portion of the work that's necessary for the contractor to build from. Um, so
Yeah.
Yeah. So clearly, if anybody is considering starting a project, obviously make sure you're considering the fact that you need to integrate the interior and design and the architectural design together to get the most for your money, to save yourself time, to save yourself headache down the road. All of these things are really why you've integrated interior design with architecture at Thrive. So this has been a really great series, I think. And if you are watching and listening and haven't gotten to hear what these guys have had to say in the last 3 weeks, make sure you go back and check those out because I thought they've been really informative, educational, and that's really what we're trying to do is help inform your clients of how you guys can help them and how to avoid creating those memorable projects that you wish you couldn't for all the wrong reasons, right? So, anything else you guys want to add before we end the episode for today?
No, I mean,
Thanks.
we enjoyed putting it together. Enjoyed this series. Looking forward to the next series. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and then Kyle and I'll have some more videos coming out, some short ones.
Yeah,
That's
So
right.
stay tuned.
should be
Stay
fun.
tuned. Indeed. Thanks a lot for joining us today for Designing with Purpose. We'll be back with more next week. Until then, if you need to get in touch with Thrive Architects, what's the number to call, Jeremy?
833-380-6180.
That was a test. That was good. Have a good day, everybody.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.